I think that's the problem. When you're starting to look at your premium mid-priced forwards,
Yeah.
you're looking at Solanke's, Jackson's, Havertz's, and Isak. Isak
He just clears it, doesn't he?
so much better, isn't he?
So I've got the Fantasy Football Hub highest predicted points for forwards, all forwards at all price ranges. Number one is Haaland. No surprise there. I mean, for all of the positive things we can say about, Raul Jimenez, we're not expecting him to outscore Haaland. We just appreciate the value for money is better with Jimenez. So we'll leave Haaland. We've spoken about him a bit already. Isak next on this list. I'm very keen on this one.
Top striker.
Top striker. Well, I mean, not quite, but almost. So I was looking through some of the numbers for the highest expected goal involvements for forwards over the past 6 game weeks per 90 per start, whatever you want to say. Haaland is number 1. We know how many chances he's been getting. Isak is number 2 for both expected and for actual output as well. He's been really, really good. And he's been that FPL asset that we were speaking about prior to game week 1, where, I made some videos about like expert drafts and, who is like the most owned player among the top FPL managers. And Isak was number 1.
He was like 100%, wasn't he?
He was like 99.5% owned among top managers. Like he was unanimously agreed to be a phenomenal FPL asset. What changed? He wasn't fully fit. He was playing through an injury. Newcastle were in a bit of bad form. They had a lot of injuries still have a few, in fairness. Now, Isak is back. He's fully fit, in form, firing. Newcastle are in better form. This is the Isak we wanted in game week 1. This is the Isak that 99.5% of the top managers unanimously agreed has to be in your FPL team. That is where we're at with him.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I watched him in that Forest game. And like before, I think before his return, I was like, this Isak is back.
Yeah.
Like he's playing so well. And when he's like that, he's one of the best. He arguably one of the top 3 best strikers in the league, in my opinion. So yeah.
Maybe top 2. I mean, who's better than him outside of Haaland? And even there's some debate about that now.
Chris Wood.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, I'm joking. But I mean, Ollie Watkins, I think, has a bit to say there. I mean,
disagree, but I get it.
Who else is there? I mean, Diogo Jota's pretty good, but maybe he's not Isak good. You know what? You're probably right there. He's probably the second best striker in the league at the moment.
Do you want to know some fixtures for him?
Go on then.
West Ham at home next, then Crystal Palace away, then Liverpool at home in 14. But then after that, Brentford, Leicester, Ipswich, Aston Villa at home, Man United away. So in the next, 8 game weeks, we've got West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Leicester, Ipswich. That is 5 phenomenal fixtures.
I mean, look, he's just scored against Chelsea, Arsenal, and Forest as well. So like,
that's a good point.
So the guy, good fixtures, bad fixtures, he's great.
Good point.
Right? I mean, putting 11 points past Nottingham Forest, the best defense in the league.
I know, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And
Should have had more.
I feel like the goalkeeper cells made it a little bit easier than perhaps it should have been. But
yeah.
But
yeah, no. Look, I think Isak is a phenomenal pick. On Wildcard, definitely would be getting him. Transfer.
Yeah, non-wildcarders.
So I want to buy Isak.
If you have like a Solanke.
A Solanke is just such an easy sell this week.
Solanke to Isak, if you've got the money.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer, right?
I can do a swap of Chris Wood to Isak.
Have you got the money in the bank?
Provided I sell Trent.
Who,
again, Trent, injured.
Let's talk about Trent in a minute in more detail, but yeah.
Could miss Southampton.
Yeah.
Then plays City and West Ham. So I could lose Trent and pick up, I don't know, maybe a Reece James.
Come on now.
No, I've got Rico Lewis. I've got enough of that craziness on my team.
Yeah, fair point.
But no, I'm 0.9 short of doing the Wood to Isak transfer. And I've got 2 free transfers, so I'm very likely to do it.
Well, have you got an Arsenal defender?
I've got Ryan.
Oh, okay. So maybe you don't want to double up on Arsenal.
Yeah.
Konate? You don't like Kanate as a pick, do you?
I don't get the pick.
We are going to talk about defenses. But the other players, top of the predicted points, it goes Haaland, Isak, then Watkins, who has been a little bit off it. I don't think the fixtures are as good for Aston Villa. I mean, maybe we can reassess that in a couple of weeks. They do have Crystal Palace this week, then Chelsea away. Then they do have Brentford and then Southampton. But then after that, it's like Forest, Man City, Newcastle away, Brighton. It's like nothing crazy. And then Wood after that. Well, I think we have to agree, Nottingham Forest, for all of the credit that we give them, they have horrible fixtures coming up. They've had pretty much all of their best fixtures already.
Yeah. In the next three, they face City and Arsenal, don't they?
It's not, it's not really what you want. It's Arsenal away, then Ipswich at home, then City away, then Man United away, then Aston Villa at home, then Brentford away, Spurs home, Everton away. Like, these are, in terms of a run for the next 8 game weeks, they probably have the worst fixtures of any team in the Premier League. It's not a good time to have Forest players. And that's why I've got no Forest players in my current wildcard draft. Not really feeling it. Cunha's there as well. We spoke about him already. Going to the next page, we see Solanke in 6th. But I don't think we go there. Raul Jimenez, João Pedro, and Wissa, the cheap guys. And then in 10th place for predicted points for forwards, Nicholas Jackson.
I like him.
Yeah, lower than I thought he would be.
I like him. What I'm very surprised by is the lack of a certain Kai Havertz in this.
Are you surprised by that? He has been really off it. But, I mean...
I think the fixtures haven't been brilliant.
That's true. But then the same thing could be said about Jackson.
But, I mean, Jackson's good as well. I'm not saying Jackson shouldn't be in this 10.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting not to see Kai Havertz. But Jackson, definitely a good option. I think people are kind of concerned about having Palmer and Jackson. For me, I think as a double up, it's quite nice.
I don't have a problem with it. I probably would go for Jackson if it wasn't for the emergence of Isak.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. When you're starting to look at your premium mid-priced forwards, you're looking at Solanke's, Jackson's, Havertz's, and Isak. Isak
he just clears it, doesn't he?
So much better, isn't he? Wissa, who we briefly went past, interesting pick.
Not as convinced on him as other people are.
How come?
Igor Thiago. Is that his name?
I know Igor. I don't know his last name.
Igor Thiago? I'm pretty sure that's his name. The Brentford Brazilian guy, the striker that Brentford signed in the summer to replace Tony. He was meant to be the new star striker for Brentford. He got injured, unfortunately. He was expected to be ruled out for the season, but he's back in full training. And this week he's playing a behind closed doors friendly. So I think there's a good chance that he comes back very soon and starts putting Wissa into a little bit of rotation risk. Maybe not that much because Wissa has been brilliant and does deserve to play, but that could just mean Wissa moves out to the left wing. And he's not going to have the same influence as previously. Not going to happen every week. It's probably not going to happen for a couple of weeks either.
Yeah.
But with Brentford's fixtures getting worse in a couple of weeks, Wissa could be a shorter term pick than maybe some of the other players on this list.
Yeah. Fair enough. I still think he's one to consider, and a lot of people don't seem to talk about him as an option as much. So I just wanted to flag it.
Yeah. A little shout out for Wissa, definitely. And I think he will do very well over the next 2. But the rotation risk or the positional risk starts at the same time as the fixtures get worse. And I think that is a little concerning for me. Like, again, if you're on a wild card, I think I'd want to create a situation where I minimize the amount of problems I might have in the near future.
Is he the second best player in Brentford?
Is Wissa the second? Yeah. Probably.
Unlikely he gets dropped?
I don't think he'll get dropped, no, but I think he will move out to the left wing.
Okay.
Yeah, I still think he's going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. But anyway, those are your forwards. Now let's go to the opposite end of the football pitch.